Right guys, so it's James Goddard down here at the Quest Golf Academy, and I had a really interesting lesson this Saturday with one of our Quest Golf followers, Barry. So just to give you a little bit of background on Barry, he currently is playing off a handicap of 16 with the aim of getting that down to single figures by the end of this season. And judging by what I saw in the lesson on Saturday, I don't see why that isn't a realistic target, Barry. So we had a brief chat before the lesson actually started, and Barry's real complaint was mainly with a big stick, suffering with quite a big slice. So we got him to hit some warm-up shots to start off with, and if you just look here on the right-hand side now, this is one of Barry's first golf shots of the day. So I'll just run his swing through. So you can see the first movement there. Barry likes to suck the club in a little bit in behind him. And if I take him on to lead arm parallel to the floor, so at this position here, you can just see how the hands and the arms are very much deep and behind him. And from this position here, he's only got two choices really. He can either continue to turn on that plane, to which the arm plane is going to be extremely flat, or alternatively, he can just lift the arms straight up. And that's exactly what Barry does. So if I just run him through, you'll see how the arm just works straight up, and we've got a pretty steep arm plane relative to his shoulder plane. And this is the position really that was causing us the trouble in transition. So if I just start him down from that point, you'll see how the hands work out and the shaft steepens. If I just take him to the last parallel to the floor, you'll see here how the club is going to be exiting a long way left, and this is where that slice was coming from. So we set to work, and we really wanted to try and kill two birds with one stone here. So we worked on the backswing, but we also wanted him to give Barry a feeling in transition. So we just did a little bit of discussion briefly, just to try and educate Barry on how the club actually works in the transition. We also did a great drill with an alignment stick, which gave him a sort of visual feeling and visual sense of, so he could actually see it himself. And this was one of Barry's last shots of the day, and I think you'll see the improvements kind of speak for themselves. So firstly, you'll see here now the takeaway position. If I bring this one back and roll this one through here, completely different positions. So this one is now pointing pretty much straight down his target line, whereas this one is going to be a long way inside the hands at the first position there. So from there, Barry takes it on to the top. And what we did is we got him to pause here, and his reference point to check in the mirror behind was we wanted to get these hands set right in the middle of his sternum, so right in the middle of his chest, opposite his sternum. And if I just quickly bring this one back on the right, you'll see at this point in the old one, the hands are miles behind him. So from there, I gave Barry one simple thought, is just to turn to the top. So follow that plane on and round, and to turn to the top. Sets the club in a great position, and from there, he just simply turns to the top of his backswing. So now what we've got is an arm plane and a shoulder plane, which are a lot more matching. Okay, so I'll quickly just show you the old one here on the right, so you can see the difference. Completely different position there at the top of the backswing. But whilst I'm very aware that we don't hit the golf ball with the backswing, but it certainly helps us for a good transition, and that is evident in this bit of footage which you will see now. So if we start this one down here on the right, you'll see the hands work out, which I like, but you can see because of the position at the top, the shaft is now very steep and the hands are miles outside. Last parallel to the floor, the club is outside of his hands. So the only thought I gave Barry in this one here on the left was I just wanted him to feel as though the weight of the club, so the club head, was just allowed to naturally fall behind him this way. So they didn't want him to pull at it and bring it down this way. I just wanted him to feel as though his hands worked out, but the club was allowed to shallow this way here and down behind him. One important point I've got to stress here is that what I never want to see is the hands. If you look here on the left now, Barry's hands still work out towards the golf ball, so they do not drop down inside here. As soon as those hands drop down, the shaft is going to steepen with it, and it's at that point that we'll have the hands and arms very trapped with a shaft that is very steep, and it's just not a great position to be in. So I'll just draw a line for reference for the 3D hand path there, and if I just play Barry through, so he had a little pause at the top, and then he starts his transition with so the hands are still working out towards the golf ball, but you can see now how the shaft is coming in on a much shallower angle, and it's at last parallel to the floor. It's bang down his target line. One other great sort of knock on from that, which we didn't work on, was you can see how from this point here the body is just allowed to rotate through, and you see how the hands and arms are very passive, so it's more of a body release as opposed to a releasing of the hands to square the club face. Wasn't one of Barry's best strikes here, but the swing itself, for just a 1 hour lesson, the improvements were fantastic. I believe Barry actually did a YouTube video himself of this, so go and check that out. I think he goes in the name of @Rory's Driver, so go and check that out on his Twitter feed. And yeah, guys, so let me know what you think of this video. Please comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please subscribe to the Quest Golf channel, and also follow me on all my other social media platforms.